Yeah, it works.
That's
Really can't see much of the screen at all.
Like what Dan says. He goes, "I'm radio.
Exactly.
Leave me
all that
alone."
newfangled video stuff.
Yeah, what is that?
You kids and your technology.
They said that television stuff's going to ruin radio.
Okay. Yeah, see if we can get that down. I don't want that in front of your face. I know, it's bend the damn
How about that?
Maybe if it came this way. I like that. I don't know.
Hello?
Rex!
Hey, how you doing, man?
We're doing just fine. We're just waiting for you. Hey, joining me today, I have Matthew Himenez. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to meet Matthew, but had a good relationship for him for about six years.
Yeah, it's going. Yeah.
Since sure
Matthew, howdy, nice to meet you. I'm Rex.
Hi, Rex. Good to meet you.
So Matt's been a representative for several different companies, and one of the companies he's representing is Silinx. Now, those were those really awesome hearing protections I was wearing at your event, and
okay.
Has the passive and active monitoring. Plus, you can plug in your cell phone. And what else?
Lightweight, super lightweight. Gets rid of those the need to put the thing on your head because it's so hot there in Texas or Alabama or wherever you happen to be.
California.
And it's all military grade. I think that's an important fact, that it's all based on our military products. We just converted
So it actually
into
goes in the ear, if I remember
exactly,
correctly, right?
exactly.
See, I was wearing them.
This meeting enough, Rex. I'll get you. I'd love for you to give it a shot.
Okay. Hey, yeah, I'm always in need of hearing protection, man.
Yeah, aren't we?
I got the most unconventionally shaped ear canal that I know of. The plugs they issued never fit ever.
Really?
Back in the day, and no.
Is it your
They
canal?
have three sizes.
Yeah.
What's that?
Your canal or the outer ear, like cauliflower
I think
ear?
it's the depth. Yeah, it's like like how the three baffled military earphones
You're right.
they issue.
Yep.
Right? They have the three colors.
Yep.
And none of them ever really worked. It was it was too shallow. Maybe my brain is so full inside my head.
Actually, it's your skull is so thick is the issue.
There you go. That's the better way to put it. I don't like being that guy. But no. Yeah, seriously, my ear canal's like something. It's like there's it bottoms out like immediately.
And the other thing, Rex, we had a mass shooting out here today. I don't know if you heard that.
What the hell happened? What happened?
Somebody went off the reservation and killed 12 people, apparently.
Off the literal reservation?
No,
or
no.
Off the figurative reservation. Okay.
Mentally insane. He was an ex-Marine and shot up a bar, which in California, number one, it's illegal to shoot people. It's illegal to kill people. It's also he picked a no-gun zone because it's illegal for police officers even to carry weapons at the place he was at. Also, any CCWs. Los Angeles County has basically 0 CCWs.
But there he was in Ventura County.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And
every scumbag, it's a free-for-all no matter where they
go.
Exactly. And he was using extended round magazines, which are also illegal in California. So he only
broke
about...
like a pistol, like a Glock? Or what?
A Glock.
Yeah, a 45. I'm not sure if it's a 21 or 27
really?
Or what, but...
An extended magazines for a 21?
Yeah, I've got...
You don't have one?
I don't have them. I used to have them. But I know they came in 32 or 30, at least for 9mm.
Well, this guy was trained. He was trained by the military. So he'd know how to reload fast, I'm sure.
Yeah, they don't really train military that good on pistols typically, actually. That's the last thing they use. But, unless he was like MARSOC or something. But, that's horrible. You went into a bar and you actually killed how many people?
12.
Ay.
A cop.
Right on the eve or right after the election, huh?
Yeah. Doesn't seem to be any correlation, but who knows?
I hate being that guy, man, but I'll tell you what. I just notice patterns. That's my problem.
What's the pattern here? You elect a Democrat for governor, people get killed. We should put that on.
I'm not going to say nothing, dude. That's troubling territory. People are keeping me straight, Philip. I can't get too radical.
I don't think that guy's a Democrat. I think he's a socialist.
They have to. Well, that is a Democrat. A socialist is a Democrat. If you voted for Democrats, you voted for socialists.
Maybe so.
It is so. That's just that is a
But
strange
he's more socialist than Jerry Brown. That's what's scary. So. Jerry Brown, it was bad.
Are you talking about Gavin Newsom?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the shooter.
Well, I don't know the shooter.
The shooter. Well,
just went
the
nuts.
shooter has to be an absolute progressive also, who feels like forcing their will on somebody else is the right thing to do. Conservatives don't murder people because we obey the law.
Yeah.
They're the ones that protect us.
It's really that simple. You have to have no respect for life and no respect for law to do this kind of stuff, and that's typically your socialist.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that most cops are conservatives.
Anarchists.
I mean,
and they all,
speaking.
but they all vote for their stinking union, which sucks because the union keeps people like Gavin Newsom in the office. We're going to talk a little bit about that with Rex here later, but Jiminy Christmas, they tick me off. Voting for their pocketbook, and they are draining California. Jerry Brown, you heard when we had a state senator in here was talking that Jerry Brown told him in 3 years CalPERS is going to implode. All these guys voting for these unions. I mean, look, you're on the hind teat of the swine, and eventually it runs dry.
That's the problem with socialism. We run out of other people's money eventually.
Yeah.
And everybody else, and the people who say I'm just moving, that just drives me crazy. Look, you can move all you want. Kamala Harris is still going to vote on things that will affect you. We have 53 congressional races. 8 of them are Republican.
Look where it's moving. It is moving. Those other Arizona's going
purple, exactly. So we have 45 congressional people out there voting for all the Looney Tune stuff. Like Putz Aguilar. He won again.
Of course.
Was that his real name?
Something like that.
That's all I ever hear. Anyway.
I know who you're talking about. It must be his name.
All right. Well, we're gonna have a rare show today. You sure you want to be in on this?
I'm ready.
And this airs on the Thanksgiving weekend, so it's going to be out of date by the time.
You might.
Hey, Philip, brother.
Yes, sir.
Do we need to do a sound check or anything?
You're sounding a little odd. Can you help him with that?
Odd?
Well,
there's nothing I can do. It's the phone. Are you on a speakerphone?
I can adjust some settings here, Philip. Give me one.
Are you on a speakerphone?
Is this better?
That's much better.
Boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's way
Thanks
better.
for getting out of the toilet for the show. It's nice that you stepped out of the outhouse. We could actually do a professional show here, Rex. Appreciate that.
So this airing when? Thanksgiving weekend?
Yeah.
This Saturday?
This Saturday's doing a live broadcast.
Yeah, I've got a live broadcast.
Oh, gotcha.
You ready to go? You waiting on me?
Yep.
You waiting on me? Who are you talking
Send
to?
it.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Firing Line Radio Show. Now, this particular show is airing on Saturday, the day after Black Rifle Friday.
Nice.
Why isn't it called Black Rifle Friday? I don't know. If you own a gun store and you've got a sales going on, you should call it Black Rifle Day, not just Black Friday. Black Rifle Friday, maybe. How's that?
I think we should put that to vote. I vote yes.
Then it is unanimous. If you've agreed with me, you are correct. Folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. To my right, your left, if you're playing along at home here, I have Matthew Himenez. Matthew Himenez is a rep with Silinx. Silinx is the fantastic hearing protection that I've worn for how many years now?
It's 5 years about?
Maybe about 5
maybe
years.
3 years. Yeah.
You run into me at the range, you're going to see that I've got this inner ear stuff, and it's going down my back into a battery pack, and I don't have to worry when it's 108 degrees at West End Gun Range with sweat going into my ear canals because I don't have any of that stuff wearing. And it doesn't affect my spot weld on my cheek when I'm on my rifle, which is a huge advantage. You don't get hot spots because your hearing protection moved with your glasses on. So it's awesome.
And I think that's key right there. I think people don't realize it when you break the seal of your over the ear muffs with your eyewear. It really does eliminate almost all the usefulness of the protection.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to get into that and talk about that a little later. Joining me on the what do you call this thing? Telephone?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Joining me on the telephone here, I have Rex Tibor. Rex.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Tibosaurus Rex, the YouTube legend. Now, Rex, I invited Rex to talk to you folks here today because although this show is airing the day after Thanksgiving, actually 2 days after Thanksgiving, the day after Black Rifle Friday, as we have already established, we are recording this 2 days after the election. So this was actually recorded a little bit earlier here, folks, and some things are raw, and we're going to talk about them, about what went on in California and gun owners needing to vote. And just this morning on our way into the studio, it became apparent that once again evil has struck, and I don't think there's a better way to say it other than an evil person with evil intentions has caused a mass loss of life. And that's grievous to us, and it's grievous to us in many ways because it's not necessary. And we're probably going to be with this new governor. You know,
moment of silence.
You get rid of Jerry Brown, and he's like, crying out loud, can't we catch a break in this state? Out of the frying pan into the fire with Gavin Newsom. Anyway, folks, we're probably, again, I'm projecting 2 weeks into the future. There's probably going to be all new gun control laws about everything else. But Matthew, you have a few facts on what this shooter was armed with, what he did this last night. Can you mention that?
Yeah. So he was an ex-Marine. He's about 28 years old. Killed 12 people. He's no longer with us. He was found dead at the scene. They don't know what happened there. What else? It was a Glock, 45 caliber Glock. They don't know specifically, but they did make mention that he did use an extended round magazine. So much for that law that we have in California, right?
So let's go through this now, folks. We have a murderer, somebody with evil, murderous intent. Number one, is it legal to kill people in California?
No.
Murder is illegal.
Correct.
Shooting at people is illegal.
Shooting at people is illegal as well, yes.
All right. If you're mentally deficient, owning a firearm is illegal.
Correct.
If you are going into a bar, which I understand this was a music venue bar / thing, it is illegal to carry a firearm in a bar. They say that that's so people don't get drunk and crazy. If you're a police officer, an off-duty police officer, you can't carry in a bar. If you are a CCW holder, which there are 0 in LA County, this is in Ventura County. I don't think there's very many up there either. You can't carry in a bar. So the good people with guns and gun ownership who obey the law are disarmed. And what are we left with? We're left with the crazy who's obtained a firearm in some fashion, who is intent on hurting people, who knows because of his cowardly bias, he knows that if he goes to a place like this, he has a free-for-all because good people obey the laws and only these sick maggots. By the way, we never mentioned their name. He gets a new name. His new name is Sick Maggot.
Sick Maggot, we can go, yeah.
Sick Maggot here comes in and creates carnage on unarmed people because he's a cowardly sick maggot. CSM.
And there was a police officer killed. No details on that, whether he was there, he came later, but in any case, it's horrible.
Right, and he had an illegal magazine for California.
Yes.
So once again, the only people who obey firearm laws are the people you don't have to worry about. They're the people with a conservative bent. They're the constitutional gun owners. These are the folks who always obey the law because it's in our character. The CCW holders have a lower crime rate than police officers. This is so unnecessary. Had there been an armed officer undercover or off-duty, had there been a couple of CCW holders, you wouldn't have had this carnage. Here's an FBI fact that came out in 2014. If a mass shooting is stopped by the police, there's 14.1 casualties. Now, that doesn't mean deaths, but on average, there's 14.1 casualties, somebody hurt or dead. If it is stopped by a private citizen, there's 2.1. Now, we just had 2 examples last week at McDonald's. Guy comes in wanting to raise Cain, mad about his chicken nuggets. He got lead nuggets. by a private citizen, and it was stopped.
I see, because of this response time. Gotcha.
Exactly, because somebody's there.
Yeah, right.
And folks, you are the first responder. So we are very upset over this happening, this unreasonable loss of life that absolutely had no reason to happen. But you know what, California? You've created this. You have created laws.
Police unfortunately can't stop crimes typically. They only respond to them afterwards because there's not enough of them.
Right.
It's the citizens that are the ones that are at the scene of the crime as it's happening, who are the only ones with the statistical probability to be able to actually stop the crime.
We've talked about that before, Rex. You are the first responder.
Yeah.
The police are secondary. You, the victim, are the first responder.
Now, self-defense is your own responsibility.
Yeah, and in this scenario, you just never know. This guy walked in, and it was just a pistol, and had it under his jacket, I'm sure, and just started popping. And so constant situational awareness, unfortunately, is becoming an instinct that people should start developing regardless of what their occupation is.
Yeah. So anyway, we wanted to touch on that. It's absolutely tragic this happened, and it's unnecessary. And we think that if we had more armed citizens in California, legally armed, that these would come to a halt. If there weren't gun-free zones, otherwise known as target-rich environments.
Right, and then it goes back to prevention as well. If they know somebody or think somebody's armed, they're going to be less likely to go in there. So even it's a prevention mechanism as much as anything as well.
Yeah, they're cowards.
Well, and really the proof's in the pudding. I can come as an ambassador from a place in the country where gun ownership is almost required to be a citizen of the state. And we have the highest guns per capita, I think, in the country last time I checked, where I'm from up in the Dakotas here. And there is no such thing as house robberies, house invasions, carjackings. Murders maybe happen once in a while, but that's like a once-in-a-blue-moon type event. That's very rare. There's no mass shootings. It's the violent crime rate up here basically doesn't exist. That's something that we get to watch on television happen other places. And I think that the reason is obvious, is that if every single good person is armed, then what are bad people going to do? Because usually bad people are not only bad, but they're also cowards too, which is
absolutely
good to keep them in check. And so how are they going to assault a bunch of innocent people if those innocent people happen to have some teeth on them? You know what I'm saying? So it's where I'm coming from, and we're almost, maybe the culture's different up here too, but it's really not that much different. Californians are mostly fun-loving, just wanting to have a barbecue in the backyard type folks, good people, just like anywhere else. People are people. However, I think the major change that you can see a correlation with is that more good people with guns equals less bad people being able to use guns against them. Period.
Only every time.
Only exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
There's no evidence to the contrary, right?
Exactly. You only have positive outcomes when you have private citizens that are armed facing down the danger. And frankly, you're there with your wife, your kids, your friends, your family. If you have a CCW, you know what? You have the ability to make the difference. If you are disarmed by regulations,
Yeah.
You're
well, I don't know if you guys know
hiding
this,
under
but
a table.
my state is actually a constitutional carry state, which means they acknowledge the Constitution.
All right, now you're just
and
bragging.
You don't need any kind of background check. You don't need any kind of network. Besides, you can't. If you're criminal, you're not allowed to carry.
Right.
But you don't have to take a class. You don't have to do anything. Anyone who's a law-abiding citizen is allowed to carry a concealed weapon in my state, and there's been no issues with that so far. I would encourage people, obviously, to go and get training,
right?
Because it's a tool that can be very hazardous if you're not trained on it. But
right.
The thing is, the culture up here has really filled that gap because everyone is into it. They're just the people who are born and raised up here are probably better shooters than most people who come out of the county.
Oh, now you're just bragging. Hey, Rex, we got to take a break. We'll be right back after that.
There we go.
Sorry.
We're just better shooters. Oh, shut up.
I'm just trying to encourage people to get the culture adjusted, man. It's freaking crazy.
Where are you, Rex? What state?
What's that, buddy?
What state are you in?
I'm in North Dakota.
I got to reset this.
I think it's also the Antarctica level weather that
couldn't tell where he's from.
Yeah.
He's got the